an opening statement. Who's leads this show?
I'll lead the show. I'll lead the show. Coach, first ever sweep in the first round for UCF in program history. Just your overall thoughts on the match.
Yeah, in terms of that Yale team is ranked around 30 in the RPI. They're a fantastic team, and we didn't get any favors or cupcakes in round one. So I'm very happy with how we went out and we played. You look at that team, and Kevin and Aaron and the staff do such a good job. They're mostly freshmen, sophomores with a couple juniors mixed in. They're a young team. And defensively, watching them on film, we knew we had to be able to establish the middle, to establish the right side, open things up, because they're a top 5 defensive team in the country. So I was quite shocked to look down and see us hitting 350, 400, 450, because that's not something that they're used to giving up. But they scored against us early. They played fearlessly. And I think, the one thing that really stood out is they're as good of a serving team as we've seen all year long. A lot like Lipscomb. Omaha was the same way, just really, really hard serves. We held in there. We got ace 5 times, but a couple of those were by Schultz, the jump server, who brings it as hard as anybody we've seen this year. So they've got a lot to look forward to. This is a team that's only going to get better, and they're going to be knocking on a top 25 door next year.
Congratulations, Coach. You just mentioned that they are a young team where you're a veteran team. How did you see that experience make a difference as the matches went along?
I thought as things got close, we made less typical errors, in terms of trying to paint the line or make a great shot when it's either a home run or an out. We just didn't take the bait on that. And, we were happy with just keeping the ball alive and living to dig again. Sometimes they went for it, missed a few balls. But they did take a lot of risk in their serving game and did miss some. And that helped us out. But if you look at that first set, they had 18 kills. We only had 12. They scored 22 points. They earned 18 of their kills, plus they had 3 aces. So 21 of their 22 points they earned. We only gave them 1 hitting error. So that's how close and how good of a match it was. They were really good.
We talked a little bit previously about that strong defense that Yale has, and you mentioned the game might be coming down a little bit to offense versus defense, but with some of UCF's blocking, some of their killing, what do you think complicated that, or do you still agree with that assessment? What else did you see?
I think when we talked last, and I said they're going to frustrate us defensively, and they did. A lot of the points that we scored weren't first ball kills or first transition kills. They were something that was more along the lines of a third or fourth rally, and we really had to scrap for it, which is not our forte this year. So they made us work and earn every point by keeping the ball up in the air. And I told you when we were back in Orlando that we're going to have to block. We're going to have to block against this team, give our defense a chance. And our block wasn't as solid. That we got blocks, but in terms of lining up, we didn't do as strong of a job as we needed to. That was the adjustment that we made and how we lined up, forcing them to hit it more at players. And then the players got more and more comfortable digging those shots. But give it to Yale. They went back and they were hitting for power. They were hitting for placement. They were smart. And I wouldn't expect anything different from an Aaron Appleman team.
Abby had 9 blocks, and it seemed like she had some big blocks too to kill some momentum, had some big kills. Her and Claudia, I always feel like your team is in a different level when those two are playing at a high level. Really completes your team. Just talk about her and her impact on the match and really the rest of this tournament.
I thought both of them gave the offense of Yale, just something to think about more than anything else. They're big, they're there. You can't just blast through them. You're not going to blast over them, so you're going to have to go around them. I think that caused some hitting errors along the way. But if you look at how Claudia scored and going out there against this team and hitting 875, that really took a lot of pressure. And then Kari starts off 4 for 4 in her swings. So they had to start honoring the right side in the middles. And then both left sides just started. McKenna struggled at first, but again, I don't think she had a really good set until the second set of the match. Once she started getting balls in system, she got comfortable out of system. And once she got comfortable out of system, her hitting percentage just went through the roof. But they forced us to do the things that we needed to do. But fortunately, we were able to execute Jenny's offensive game plan. And I thought Brian did, a great job of holding them to consecutive sets where their hitting percentage just went down more and more each time. Our serving got better as the match went on.
You just referenced that first set back and forth there. It takes a little while to settle in and make some adjustments, doesn't it?
Yeah, you just never know what you're going to get in the tournament. Is somebody going to be nervous? Is somebody going to be scared? Is somebody going to blink? Are they just going to make a ton of errors in a row? You just don't know what happens in the tournament. And both teams were in it to win it, man. They were here. They were locked. They were ready to go. Side out, side out, side out. And I don't know when we did break away for a little bit, but then they came back. They rushed back on us. And after a timeout, I think we're able to contain them, but they didn't quit. They never quit. And again, I wouldn't expect that from Yale. They fight. They're winners for a reason. They only have one loss in conference for a reason. They only have 2 losses on the season for a reason. You don't do that by being okay. You do that by having a culture of winning, not giving up, doing the little things right. And you look across the net at a disciplined team who we just had to out physical, and we just had to out, I guess, offensive, spread them out, do our best that we could, because they are taking shots one-on-one. I mean, they really, really are a quality team, and I'm not kidding. It's a top 25 caliber team next year.
You don't have too much time to celebrate. Quick turnaround before tomorrow. How important is kind of leadership in not only just continuously guiding the team, but with a quick turnaround, making sure everyone stays in the right mental place and keeping their eye on what's next?
Yeah. The day before we play, we always go through the defensive film, and we work on our defense and our blocking and things like that. And I got to tell you, when coaches walked into the room getting ready, they were broken off into groups, 6 groups. And McKenna and the upperclassmen organized that each of the 6 groups were in charge of one rotation. They watched 3 matches and put together a scouting report, presented it to everybody else, including the coaches. That's without the coaches even telling them to. We're just sitting back going, what's going on? It was them taking ownership. And so they've made the right decisions all the way through. And I wouldn't expect that anything's going to happen differently. I'm sure they're going to be out there with their pens and papers, with a mock scouting report for both teams and taking notes. And then tomorrow we go right back at it, same as today. So, yeah.
Describe the experience so far getting up there. We saw the video where you were talking about a little cold up there that you guys did there, but overall experience, especially this year with the tournament going 32 seeds, more teams now getting to experience different places they haven't played before. Your overall thoughts so far on the trip here?
Well, that was one of the exciting things that I thought about when the draw came up on the screen. I think Rec Hall, I think State College, Pennsylvania is one of those special places. It's one of my top 5 that I've ever played in. I played in just about all of them. And so knowing that our athletes were going to get that experience of playing in such a historic place, like last year, we played in Pauley Pavilion. Now this year to play here on the campus of Penn State, the people have been absolutely amazing, just so welcoming and so helpful, and, really making it a neutral site for everybody. And I mean, you couldn't ask for better quality people running this thing. And just really enjoy being here. The hospitality has been great. Service has been great. Yeah, they're professionals at doing this. They've done this many years. I don't know how many times they've hosted, but I'm sure it's somewhere in the 30s. They know what they're doing.